Good morning, Flosstube. I am so glad to be back. I want to share some of my finished cross stitch with you today. It is Flosstube number 108, maybe. Goodness, I've not kept up as well as I'd like. And it is Friday, January 24th. We have had a rough 3 weeks. My dad is having some major health issues and he is 92. So we have spent the last 5 days traveling back and forth to Mississippi to do our best to help him. He is now out of the hospital in a rehab center, but still not doing as well as we'd like. So I've spent a lot of time on the phone since we got back trying to work with his caregivers, and it's a lot. I know so many of you have been through caring for aged parents, and I'm so sorry I've been out of pocket. It had occurred to me before we left to help Daddy that I would love to share with you all the cross stitch that I have done through the years that focuses on my love of blue, or the combination of the colors blue and white. And I think I told you a couple of floss tubes ago that I wanted, or that I had some ideas about floss tubes to share, because my productivity since the holidays has not been so good. But I walked all through the house and also looked in my stash of cross stitch that has not been finished, fully finished. So I have a table full here to show you. I'm not sure how long this will be, but if I don't forget, I promise to pick up Lucy and let her say hello and goodbye at the end of the video. Bless her heart, she had to go to the border during the time we were gone, but she wins their hearts every time. They love her. They call her Little Lucy, and she seems none the worse for the wear, although we miss her so much when we're away and she has to stay. Anyway, let's chat briefly on this sunshiny, still rather cold day in Texas. I hope if you are in one of the places that has been dealing with the snow and the ice that you are coping, that you still have power and you're not miserably cold. I hope you can stay in. We were so cold. It got down to like 8 degrees or into the teens in Mississippi as well as here. But we were so grateful that we had no precipitation in either place. So we were able to run errands and do what we needed to do, and also travel safely on the roads. And we are so grateful for that. All right, let's jump in. You're here for cross stitch. You are not here to hear about my last few weeks. So this is the one that is the least solid blue. This was a kit from the Victoria and Albert. DMC produced this kit. And I want to say this is art by William Morris, but the beautiful flowers and lots of blue. And I also chose to finish it in a hoop with the blue ribbon. This is one that was just so much fun to stitch and actually lots of fun to finish. It is done on, I believe, 18 count Aida with the called for DMC floss. Love that one. And then this was a free chart by Modern Folk Embroidery. Let's Be Kind. And I also chose to finish this one with ribbon on the hoop. It is done, what is this done on? A blue even weave. And it is with a DMC color. Not sure which blue this is, but this hangs in the kitchen. I love seeing it every day. Another fun stitch and fun finish. Let's Be Kind, Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm going to probably have to stand up for some of this. This is one I had done many, many years ago, and it has always traveled and hung in our kitchen. A cheerful disposition is one that allows a tea kettle to sing while up to its neck in hot water. Quite appropriate for life, don't you think? We've probably had this one for, oh goodness, 30 years at least. This one is definitely stitched with DMC, and I believe this is on hardanger. I used to use hardanger a lot when I couldn't get linen. And I like the size, and I like the blue on the white, of course. Do not know who did this pattern. I have no idea, guys. It's so long ago. But I absolutely love that sentiment. Okay, let me put this one here. This is one I did for my mother, also many, many years ago. It says, "Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves." Oh my goodness, guys, this was stitched in 1981 for my mother's birthday. And I'm sure she had this framed and matted. She had a friend in our hometown who did her framing for her. And then when Mother passed, I brought this home. She loved bluebirds, and she also loved blue, so this was quite appropriate for her. Again, I'm not sure who the designer of that pattern was. Then this one, Lucy, it's okay. I also stitched for my mother. Lucy, what's wrong? Oh, she hears something. A mother listens with her heart. If I'm not mistaken, this was a Hallmark kit back long, long ago, probably in the 80s, because it came with this mat to go inside the frame. Mostly blue with the little pink and green flowers. And I believe that was also stitched on hardanger. Maybe the pattern and the mat came from Hallmark and you had to use your own fabric. Guys, these are old. I don't remember, but we still treasure them. She also had this one framed. And she did love to have my cross stitch in her house. All right. This one is also stitched in 1980. And I'm going to just cover one little section there. This was one of our wedding samplers that I stitched. And it is the verse from the book of Ruth. And I am not getting good lighting. I'm getting so much reflection from the window. But it was stitched before we were married for our wedding. "Entreat me not to leave thee, or to cease from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and my God, thy God, my God." This was actually spoken in the Old Testament by Ruth to her mother-in-law, Naomi, but it has become a very popular wedding scripture. And this was just a delight to stitch back in the day when I was teaching and getting ready for a wedding. It's also on very small hardanger, all DMC, I'm sure, back in those days. All right, this one was done for my mother. It does not have a date, but it is also blue on hardanger. I had a pattern here. "The love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away." I hope you can see that with the glare, giving you kind of a wonky angle. In those days, they often would do a double mat, and then you see they framed it with the oval cut in the mat. And she chose on this one a blue frame. Let me see. Goodness, guys. The sun is not helping us. I thought it would. What treasures to have these back from her home. Okay, this was stitched in 82. We are going so far back. Some of you were not even here then. Mother, I wonder if you'll ever guess how much you mean to me. The love and joy you've always brought to our whole family. You've always been so wonderful in each and every way. It's no wonder that I love you more with every passing day. This was for Mother's Day in 82. And again, a double mat. I wonder if I closed those blinds, if we could get a better view. I'm just going to leave it alone, guys, and show you in a little bit of an angle. Okay, we have just a few more smaller ones and then the two bigger ones. This was a wedding sampler I stitched, and it is a quote from Khalil Gibran, the prophet. And I did this on linen back in 1980. I'm amazed. Sorry, guys. Ooh, this angle. Marriage. May there be such a oneness between you that when one weeps, the other will taste salt. Not sure who designed this, but I remember how much fun this was to stitch on this natural linen. And then you see probably 3 DMC colors, 2 blues and the green. We actually framed this ourselves. And the back is embarrassingly awful. We probably need to have it professionally redone. All right, let's see. 2 more small ones. And then the 2 more recent ones, which you've seen. I did this, oh my goodness, we framed it ourselves. This is also a scripture verse. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto God. And it's falling out of the frame. I'll need to work on it. This was one book that I had probably in the 90s, maybe late 80s, that had graphs, designs for scripture verses. And you can see how quick that would have stitched up, how quickly. We found this frame and we're actually able to do that ourselves, which in those days we would have had to do. So glad that it has survived, even though it is falling out of its frame. That's concerning. Okay, and the last one, this one, there's a lot of emotion, as well as the ones I did for my mother. I did this for Mac's grandmother, who was someone I loved very much. She raised 10 children in rural Mississippi. Her husband was a teacher for money and a pastor for the call of ministry. But this described her so beautifully. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Proverbs 17:22. I actually gave it to her the Christmas after we were married, a year after that. And her daughter very graciously gave it back to me when she passed away. The back is inscribed to Granny, Christmas 1981. Now I am going to get emotional. Love, Mac and Sharon. She lived to see the first 3 of our children and met our 3rd child as a baby before she passed away. Such a matriarch indeed, a blessing to the whole family. And just that small piece of work brings her to mind, which is why we love our craft, right? Okay, I'm going to stand up for these last 3 and then I'll get Lucy for you. So I did this one for Mac for our anniversary in 2015, which would have been our 35th anniversary, and it is a long dog sampler. I'm so embarrassed I didn't pull that out for you to see which long dog it is, but it is monochromatic, and again, here goes our glare. We had this one framed. Her motifs are such fun to stitch. You see bees, you see flowers, you see birds, hearts. Just loved doing this one. It is done on a small white linen. I would guess 32 count. And this was done with a variegated cotton. I can look that up if you need that information. Wish I could remember which sample that is. Okay, this is my latest blue and white. And this was designed by my big toe. It is the Apostles' Creed. Is it upside down? No, it is not. An ancient creed of the Christian faith. And guys, this was like an accomplishment that I will always treasure. I love that band at the bottom, the way that was designed. I won't read you that whole creed. You are familiar with it if you are a believer. Most churches recite it. Such a treasure. Very large. It hangs in our living space. But I just love that one so much. And then this, guys, I had to bring out because I've never shown it to you before. It is the oldest piece that I've ever done. And it is stamped cross stitch. But I have loved it and carried it with me all these years. I used to love Asian decor, and this, I chose this frame as a, what is this? Bamboo. But it's the funniest bathroom piece, and it totally describes me. You see those sunbonnet girls, that is big time 70s design. But it says, "Don't rush me." And that is me when I'm getting ready. Don't rush me. That's also me loving the bubble bath. And I'm not sure why the shower is over the sink, but just too much fun. I didn't love stamped cross stitch, but I did love doing this one. It was probably done in, 73 maybe? Excuse me, double matted. It really dates. So this always hangs in the master bathroom, no matter how small or how large. And definitely a treasure. I have no idea who made that kit either. Let me get our puppy and we will close out. Lucy. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry guys, I walked away. She has had her grooming. So not much hair. So she has a sweater when it's cold, but she's not wearing it today. And you know how she will never look. There she's looking at the camera. You hear your friends out there saying, "Hi, Lucy." So we still have a little hair on our ears. And definitely, I don't know if I can show you without hurting her. Let me try. Her little fluffy, you can't see. Fluffy tail, which she does not want me showing her off. But she is having a good morning sunbathing and barking at the neighbors. We were so glad to get back and have her home. She's definitely my emotional support animal. There's no question about it. So Lucy says hi to all her fans out there, loving those little feet after they've been groomed. It's lunchtime. She knows and she's ready. Listen, so happy to see you today. I hope to be back very soon with whips, some haul, some precious stitchy kindness, and I hope some good news about my daddy. But I had to spend some time with you today. I knew it would cheer me up and refocus me to some stitching progress. I did pull out an old WIP, and it is finished, which I will show you next time. I also had a new start, which was some stitchy kindness, and it is a finish. So hopefully in the next few days, I'll be back to say hello and show WIPs and a couple of finishes and talk about plans. And she is definitely ready for her lunch. Sending love from Texas from your stitchy friend. Please come back to see me. Let me hear what you're up to. Thank you for listening today. Bye-bye.